I'm Eben Weiss, also known as BikesnobNYC. I'm with Terry Barentsen here on the Lower East Side of Manhattan. And today we're going to talk about how to lock your bike in NYC. Riding a bike in New York City is challenging, but the real challenge is keeping a bike in New York City. Holding onto your bike in this town is difficult. This city wants your bike. It will take it. You cannot leave it unattended for a second. To learn about how that works, one of the best things to do is walk around and check out the bikes that have been sitting around for a while. Look what happens to them. You can learn from this. You see what people take and how they take it. The wheels are gone. Okay, that's one of the first things to go is your wheels. Anything that can be taken will be taken. So learn from the cityscape. Any bike you have in New York City is liable to be taken from you at any moment, no matter what precautions you take. You have to know the bike, you have to know its vulnerabilities. Someone could steal your entire bike, or they can steal pieces of your bike. Know about your frame, know about your frame's tubing. How delicate is your frame's tubing? Is it that thin-walled aluminum tubing that can dent with the flick of a fingernail, or is it some nice, stout, cheap mail-order steel that you can slap up against the bike rack and not worry about? How do your wheels go on and off your bike? Do you have quick-release axles, which are exactly what they sound like, quick to be relieved of your wheels? Do you have nutted axles, which at least require a tool and add an additional layer of security? When you need to adjust your seat, it's not too hard to raise it up and down, is it? It's just as easy for someone to unbolt your saddle and take it with them. If it comes off easy, either take it off yourself or secure it to your bicycle. Something like this chain lock is the most secure. You have the strength and you have the length to wrap not only your frame but your wheels. So great for security. Not so great for carrying around. A lock like this weighs more than your bike. It probably weighs more than you. A U-lock has strength, is nicely portable. However, U-lock by itself is probably not going to be big enough to secure your components as well as your frame. You want to supplement that with something like a cable lock. They're not too heavy. You can throw it in your bag along with your U-lock. The more locks a thief sees, the more likely that thief is to move on. Your lock is only as good as what you are locking to. If you're locking to something that's not secure, the best lock in the world isn't going to keep your bike there. These New York City standard issue bike racks are a good choice, but believe it or not, sometimes they're loose in the sidewalk. Sometimes they've been backed into a few times by cars and trucks and they're kind of loose. Make sure it's in there good. Street signs are absolutely everywhere. Another good choice, provided there's an actual sign up top. Looking around the New York City streetscape, we see, yes, trees. We have trees here. And yes, people will lock their bikes to trees. Don't be one of these people. It's not nice for the tree. It can damage the tree. What if someone comes along, decides they want your bike, and cuts down the tree? That's on your conscience. And dogs like to pee on trees, and why put your bike right there in the line of fire? New York City is a big city. It feels like it belongs to all of us. Some of it is private property. These planters can be a good choice for locking your bike up really quick, but they're private property. What if someone decides to cut your bike off because they don't like your bike on their property? Know what belongs to who, and you can't always get away with locking your bike to private property for a long time. And then one of the most abundant and tempting aspects of the New York City streetscape is the scaffolding. Scaffoldings are everywhere. Scaffoldings, however, are not always a good choice for locking your bike. If you lock to this piece here, it's held on by a single bolt, so that's all it will take to take your bike. Okay, let's do a nice garden variety street sign U-lock lockup job. We're gonna get in right up against the pole here. We're gonna take out the U-lock, open her up, just the right angle. We can get the frame and the rear wheel right there in the U-lock. And not only have we secured both the wheel and the frame, but we've taken up a lot of space here inside the lock, which keeps the bike from falling over. All right, so we're locked up. We've got the back wheel and the frame secure. If you've got that extra cable lock, you can take the next step here. You come in, you get your front wheel locked up to your frame. Now you have some extra security. Both wheels secure, frame secure. You're in pretty good shape. A quick trick to secure your saddle is you find a piece of bicycle chain. You take a piece of inner tube. You wrap the chain around your saddle rails and around your frame, and you attach the chain, and look at that, they can't take your seat. If you have a bike with quick release skewers, go to the hardware store, spend $1, get some hose clamps. You just clamp the skewer lever right against your fork, and that will at least inconvenience a thief. So if all this how to lock your bike in NYC stuff is too daunting for you, and you really can't bear the thought of leaving your bicycle outside in all this craziness, there is another way. And that way is to simply take the bike with you. I'm Eben Weiss, you've been watching.
So we bring to a close the story of rigid control through the unceasing research and the highest quality.